Hello everybody and welcome back, and oh, the lighting is terrible here, so we're gonna move. My name is Kari, and today I am re-uploading my memorable books from school video. So I did it yesterday, and then my sister reliably informed me that the lighting is an issue right now. The sound went out about halfway through the video, so yay for that. At any rate, I'm gonna talk about a couple of the more memorable books I read in school. They're not, strictly speaking, that I liked them or hated them. I mean, I have opinions, obviously, but this is not a I love these books or an I hated these books list. It's just ones that stick in my head. So, first one I've talked about a couple of times, and that's Dealing with Dragons by Patricia C. Reedy. This is a young adult, so middle grade-ish, fantasy that follows Cimmerine, who's a princess who doesn't act very traditionally princessy. Her parents want to marry her off when she's 16. She doesn't want to, so she goes and volunteers to be a dragon's princess. It's adventurous from there. It's fantastic. That was the book that got me into fantasy, so I know that I've talked about it a couple of times. The other one that we read in 5th grade, I think, is War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. And the reason I only think I read this one is because I specifically remember this one scene from whatever science fiction book we read in 5th grade that had a tripod come down and sort of just plant itself, and then there was a culvert or a river or something that one of the main characters swam through, crawled through, whatever, to get away from the tripod. Something about water didn't register heat. I might be confusing other sci-fi things with that last statement, but at any rate, there was a tripod and a body of water. So I think I read that in 5th grade, and I think that because of that scene, I recently reread it and it sort of matches up. And I asked one of my cousins who's really into science fiction, and he thought of War of the Worlds when I described what I remembered. So I'm gonna go with that one. That one really stuck with me, specifically that one scene. I didn't remember anything else about it though. Go figure. The next one I also read in 5th grade, and it gave me nightmares for a week. I shared a room with my sister at the time, and I looked over and swore she was Anubis just lying on a bed over there, and she had one of those dress-up wedding gowns, and I was fairly certain that was a mummy in the closet. It went well. That book is House on Hackman's Hill. Terrifying. I reread it when I was in law school 3-4 years ago. I only graduated 2 years ago, but I read it 3-4 years ago. Anyway, it was terrifying. Even as a must have been 24, 25. Anyway, I read it in broad daylight, and it is still creepy, which is really weird. So, having read it as a 10-year-old, yeah, it makes sense that it gave me nightmares for a week. The next one is Esperanza Rising. Esperanza or Esperanza Rising? There's something about Esperanza. I don't really remember anything about that book, so I remember it because we read it out loud in 6th grade, but I don't remember liking it, and I don't remember the plot at all. I just know we read it, which is interesting, because you'd think I would remember it, right? Then we have The Highwaymen, which is technically a poem, but we read that in 7th grade, and I love it, adore it, and then we would do ab exercises to it in dance. And it's so sad and amazing and well done. The poem and the song by Lorena McKennitt. Then in 7th grade, we also, I'm pretty sure, read Mara, Daughter of the Nile, which is one of my favorite books, and it's definitely one of my sister's favorite books, which is saying something because she's not huge on historical fiction. So usually if I'm making her read it, she's really gonna love it, and she does. This is about an Egyptian slave girl during the reign of Hatshepsut, who gets turned into a double spy, double agent, whatever you want to call it. So that was really fun, and I still adore that book. We also read Cabin 102, which is also amazing. It's about a 10-year-old boy who goes on a cruise around Tahiti and finds the ghost of a native girl who was killed. It's fantastic. Loved it. My 7th grade English teacher was amazing. Well, is amazing. She's still alive. Nobody's that old. Let's see. I mean, we read Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer. Really didn't like Tom Sawyer. I enjoyed Huck Finn until Tom Sawyer showed up because he's just a really irritating character. I do recognize the racism and just inherent badness of society and the representation in those books. I would have to reread them to say any more than that, though, but I do remember enjoying Huck Finn before Tom Sawyer showed up. Except for all the N-words. I've never liked that word. It just, ugh, I don't like it. What else did we read? Oh, I read Johnny Tremain in high school because I had to read it for APUSH, AP US History. I found that very interesting. It did not go the way I expected it to go, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's about an apprentice silvermaker, apprentice somebody in the American Revolution. And then, ooh, Beloved. Beloved has to make it on there because this book is just very weird. It's by Toni Morrison, and while I appreciate that my teacher had us read something that was not by a white author, I think coming from Wonder Bread White hometown, as my English teacher said, and reading that, it was a serious disconnect because I had no idea what was going on. I remember bits of the book, the bits that I really didn't comprehend. Looking back now, I think if I were to reread it as I want to do, I would understand a lot more, or at least sympathize. I can't empathize because that doesn't happen, but I could definitely sympathize and I could definitely see the reasoning and understand the, I guess, feelings and history more so behind it than I did at the time. I was 17 when I read it. I had no idea. We also read The Good Earth, which to this day is one of my favorites. It is an amazing, amazing book about a rural Chinese man, I want to say at the beginning of the 1800s, who works his way up sort of through the ranks of rural peasants, and it's fantastic. It is so good. We also read The Crucible, which is less good. That's a play technically, but it is really dark. And about the Salem witch trials. So, you know, a lot of torture and dead people, and it's just not very nice. I don't know, that one stuck with me, but I don't even know today if I like or dislike it, so that's fun. I think, other than that, I read Jamaica Inn, and I think I read Rebecca as well during AP English. So we had college prep English, or CP, and then we had AP, advanced placement. And I read The Grapes of Wrath. I read, not Othello for that. What else did I read? Rebecca, Jamaica Inn, The Tempest. In one of those CP classes, we would have read Macbeth. In one of the advanced ones, we read Othello. We read a bunch of Shakespeare because, you know, Wonder Red White, and that's just what the West decides is worth it. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy Shakespeare, but there's other plays out there that we can also read, and that we should read besides reading 7 Shakespeare plays. Just a personal opinion. But yeah, I read a lot. Grapes of Wrath, if I didn't mention that before. I read The Pearl, but I think I might have read that late in high school after I didn't have to read classics anymore. Also read the King Arthur and His Noble Knights, which I think is the title of whatever Arthurian tale Steinbeck wrote. One of his less depressing ones, actually. The rest of his stuff is depressing as hell, but the Arthurian one is really good. I remember liking that one. I made a questing beast for it, actually. I think that's the one Nope, that was the one from Future King. Yeah, so we're gonna walk over here and I'll show you my questing beast, maybe. Yeah, so, this is my questing beast, and I made him for the presentation that we had to make, because, you know, school. But anyway, those are some of the most memorable books I read in high school. I will come at you again eventually. I will be posting videos regularly for the next at least month, Wednesdays and Sundays. I don't know when the next video I'm going to talk about school books is going to come out because I haven't really planned timing, but I will be coming at you and discussing which of these were my actual favorites, which I actually abhorred, and go through and find a list somewhere of, generally speaking, all of the books I read. So there will be more coming, including books I read in college, for college specifically. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!